Alright guys, so I'm finally getting around to doing my video on how my first craft fair went. So, that week, for the lack of a better phrase, was Hell Week. That week, trying to get ready for that craft fair was just absolutely horrible. I can't believe I did it. I can't believe from start to finish, I got a business up and running in a week. But I wouldn't wish it on anybody. That week I did have some products, ready and stuff, because I had made soaps already. But I didn't have enough to, actually sell, and I didn't have any of my other products either, and I wanted to showcase other things that I'm going to do. So I decided that since I only had a week, I was just going to do soaps, bath bombs, and lip balms. And I ended up making some more soaps and, making some bath bombs, and I was extremely busy all week. I actually didn't do any of my homework that week. I'm having to turn it in late, so I'm going to get points deducted off of that, but I had to do what I had to do. I had priorities, and I had to prioritize my priorities. It was horrible. And so everything was going good. I was extremely busy and extremely exhausted. I actually suffer from insomnia, and I had no problem sleeping that week. Until Thursday came. Thursday was the worst day ever. I had problem upon problem upon problem over one of the easiest things to make, the lip butters. Holy crap. I had never used flavoring oils for lip butters. I always just leave them plain or use essential oils, and I had done research and saw that a lot of people use Loran's flavoring oils, and there's some specific ones that you can use, because you can't use all of them, and I went to their website to clarify, make sure, you can actually use them, and they actually have lip balm recipes on their website. So I bought the specific, and the reason why I chose those is because, like I said, I only had a week, so I didn't really have time to get things shipped to me, so I had to see if I could find something locally. So Loran's flavoring oils are sold at the local craft store, so I decided, I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and get them. And I got the specific ones that they had in their lip balm recipe. And I go to use them. I was going to have 3 flavors, peppermint, cherry, and grape. I used the peppermint, went fine, no problems. When I went to use the cherry, it was like oil and water. It just sucked in globlets to the bottom of the lip balm base. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And that's when everything started. I had so many problems after that. I ended up having to melt the lip balm base for 15 minutes, keeping it at above 170 or keeping it above 200 degrees. I don't remember which one, because my lip balm got grainy because of the shea butter, so I had to remelt everything. Because I had to melt it so much, I guess the flavor oil got incorporated into it a little bit more, so my lip balms actually do taste like cherry, but the last bit of the lip balm base I couldn't use because it had globlets of the flavor oil in it. And I tried to do the same with the grape, and it didn't work at all, so I ended up only having peppermint and cherry at the craft fair. I was so upset and so angry because everybody uses these, flavoring oils, and even on their website it says you can use them, but you clearly cannot. And it says on the bottle that it's made out of alcohol, which of course I didn't realize until after it didn't work for me, because if everybody else is saying it worked for them, and lip balm bases are oil-based, why wouldn't it work for me too? So I was extremely upset about that, and I ended up going around like crazy trying to find another type of flavoring oil that was oil-based that I could use, and I ended up finding Wilton's at another craft store at Joann's, and because they make those special oil based, because their candy melts can't use alcohol based flavoring oils. So but I ended up not using them. I didn't have time. I spent that whole day on Thursday with the lip balms. One of the easiest things to make, and it was just so much trouble, and I had to spend so much time doing research to remedy all the problems that I was having, that it put me a day behind schedule. So when it came to Friday, my mother, my husband, and I ended up staying up until 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning, because I was a day behind. If I didn't have that problem on Thursday, we would have been fine. We would have been able to go to bed on Friday at a decent time. But because I got put so far behind, we stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had to get up. You know, we had to get up at 6:45 to be able to leave by 7:30 and get there when we were supposed to get there. So we finally get to go to bed. I'm stressed. I'm anxious. I am pissed. I am everything in the world. And what happens to me? I don't hear my alarm. I slept right through my alarm because I was so exhausted. I could not believe that had happened to me. I was on the verge of tears. I had to actually do like deep breathing before I had a panic attack, because I was trying not to cry. I was holding it in. I was so upset. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? This is my first time presenting my business to the public, and this is what happens to me. There's no words to describe what I felt. So I ended up not going. I'm like, well, I can't do anything. I guess I'll go tomorrow, because it was a 2-day event. It was Saturday and Sunday. And at 8:30, my aunt calls me. 8:30 was the time that we were supposed to be there to set up. And 8:30, my aunt calls me, and she's like, where are you at? And I'm like, I didn't hear the alarm. We weren't going to have enough time to get there by 8:30. I had never been to a craft fair before, so I don't know how this stuff works. If they let you set up, if what happens. I don't want to be setting up in front of customers. Like, I feel like that makes you look irresponsible. So I'm like, I didn't get up in time. We were not going to make it till, by 8:30. And she's like, there's nobody even here. Come here. Come set up. You have time. And I'm like, oh, okay. So by the time we got there and everything, it was 10:30. And I must say, for all the trouble that I went through that entire week, it was a great weekend. It was the perfect event for me to go to for my first time, because it wasn't like a huge craft fair. It wasn't like a farmer's market. It wasn't anything like that. It was a little rinky-dinky craft. It was a bazaar that was being held at the local women's club that, they don't really do a lot of advertisement. So all they pretty much were doing was having someone stand on the road with a sign. So there wasn't a lot of people that actually showed up. And it was perfect, though, because I got to see and get the feel for a craft fair and stuff like that. And it wasn't extremely busy where I was going to be overwhelmed. It was actually kind of slow. A lot of the other crafters there, they were talking about how slow it was and stuff. There was so much networking, it's not even funny. Everybody was going around, passing around business cards and saying, oh, I know this craft fair that's going on at such and such time, at such and such place, and I'll let you know. And everybody was super nice. Everybody, to each other. Everybody was so helpful to each other, because we're all, craftsmen and artisans, and that, we want to be able to get our products out there. And so I thought that was so cool, how everybody just tries to help each other out. I was the only soaper there, so that was kind of cool. And I met some really nice people. I had people actually come up to me and they were impressed by the presentation that I had put on I'm gonna see if I can link some pictures, and I took a small little video, like a 10-second video or whatever, and I'll show you guys that too. See if I can like hook it to this video. And but people, you know, were complimenting me on it, on my presentation, and trying to help me out and giving me tips and stuff. So everybody was super nice, and like I said, all the trouble that I went through was so worth it, and I am so ready to get into my next one. But I did do some sales, so I actually have some soaps that I have to replenish. So I'm like super excited, and I did make some money. I was so excited. So that is my experience with my new business. I registered on October 22nd and had my first craft fair on October 27th, 5 days later. But it all went well, and I feel blessed. That I'm very happy that it went so well. So now, you know, my husband and I were just trying to improve on some of the things that we saw, and trying to finally get, you know, our soap room together. He's tired of seeing me take over the kitchen. So, and I am converting all my soaps to goat milk soaps now, because that's what I had wanted to do from the beginning, and I did have someone ask me about them. So, I'm so happy because it helped boost my confidence up a lot. There was another vendor on Saturday. She bought one of my lavender bath bombs, and she actually bought an Oops bath bomb. So those Oops ones. They were a little misshapen. Plus, they had been leaking fragrance oil. I had never had that happen to me before, and I added the same amount that I always add. So I was kind of scared what she was gonna say, because, you know, it is an Oops. But I was still kind of scared, especially since this was the first time of me actually selling something that I made. You know, I'm scared, and I don't know. But anyway, but she bought a Oops lavender bath bomb. She specifically said, "Are you going to be here tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Yes." And she's like, "Good, then I'm going to use this tonight." And I'm like, "Oh dear Lord, please let it work." And she came back the next day, and she said that she absolutely loved her bath. So that was such a confidence booster, and I'm so happy that I actually got one-on-one feedback, you know, face-to-face with an actual satisfied customer. So bottom line, it was great. It was a lot of work, and it was exhausting, but I'm so happy. I have a lot of new things that, you know, I would like to improve on, now that I know how things are done and the gist of a craft fair and everything, and how I'm going to display everything and stuff like that. So, but anyway, so that's my update on my very first craft fair, and I'll be sure to give you guys more updates on the next shows that I do, and show my progress as my business grows. Alright, see you guys now.
Alright, so it's very windy out here. There's not very many people. I'm recording. Okay. But this is our booth. We had to make do with what we could do with so little time. But we did it, and we've already had our first sale. And I'm missing a couple of signs, as you see, and signs for the lip butters. But I'm still happy. Our grand opening.